What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. E3 2021 has just wrapped up. The show is over, and while some people are kind of lukewarm on this year's E3, there were definitely a handful of pretty cool announcements. And no game got a bigger reaction out of me than Nintendo's Metroid Dread. Yes, everybody was optimistic for news on Prime 4, which is why I think this totally came out of left field for many, myself included, straight up referring to the game as Metroid 5, and coming out this year. This is a true sequel in the original 2D Metroid series of games. I love to see it, and I can't wait to play it. But what some people may not realize is Metroid Dread has been gestating over in the bowels of Nintendo for a long, long time. The first publication of anything Metroid Dread related goes all the way back to 2005, in Game Informer 146, the June edition, with Gears of War on the front cover, Microsoft's secret weapon. In the news section, an article discusses Nintendo's 2006 release lineup, including a couple of Metroid titles for the Nintendo DS, Metroid Dread, and Metroid Prime Pinball. Sadly, only one of these titles would grace Nintendo's dual-screen handheld, but, for real, jokes aside, Pinball was actually pretty sick. Behind the scenes, though, around this time, the team that worked on the Metroid games, Nintendo R&D 1, hot off the heels of releasing Metroid Zero Mission in 2004, ended up being restructured and absorbed into Nintendo's software planning and development, which basically supervised and co-produced second-party titles, meaning that they were no longer producing their own games. This led to a long period with no 2D Metroid games, though rumors and online speculation continued, with lots of fans eagerly anticipating news on Dread. To add fuel to the fire, in 2007, Metroid Prime 3 was released on the Wii, and it contained an in-game log file that said, "Experiment status report update. Metroid Project Dread is nearing the final stages of completion," which of course was a big deal, and to many was confirmation that the game exists and was almost done. But after garnering a strong reaction, Metroid Prime 3 developer Retro Studios confirmed that it was just an Easter egg, it was all just a joke. Absolute savages. Series producer and director of some of the most fan-favorite games in the series, Yoshio Sakamoto, over the years would actually talk quite candidly about Metroid Dread when asked about it, seeing that there were internal meetings about the game and how it could work on DS hardware, and despite development never taking off, always insisted that the idea for Dread is still something that he had in his head. And for a long time, the series was seemingly put on ice, barring a couple games in the series that we don't talk about. In 2015, Nintendo began co-developing a new 2D Metroid game for the 3DS, with Spanish developer Mercury Steam, who had previously worked on Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Sakamoto was also ready to return to the Metroid series and visited the studio, where they had originally pitched a remake for Metroid Fusion, but Sakamoto insisted on a remake for Metroid 2, as it's an important entry for the series story-wise. And in 2017, Metroid Samus Returns was released on the 3DS and was a hit with critics. And this is essentially what laid the groundwork for Metroid Dread to finally become a reality in 2021, as it's being developed by the same collaboration of Mercury Steam and Nintendo EPD, with Yoshio Sakamoto returning as producer. 16 years after it was initially reported on back in 2005, which is absolutely crazy. And with both Metroid Dread releasing this year, and the Famicom Detective Club games being remade and released worldwide, which Sakamoto wrote, the dude's having a pretty good year. So, with Metroid Dread releasing in October 2021, being the 5th entry in the 2D Metroid series, the optimal way to play the original series is Metroid Zero Mission, a remake of the first game, Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS, a remake of the second game, Super Metroid, and then Metroid Fusion. Which, gotta plug the Let's Play channel, we'll be playing a Metroid game a month in order until the release of Dread. So, come and hang out if that's your thing. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button. It really does help me out a lot. And if you're interested in stories similar to this one, please consider binge watching the series using the Deep Cuts playlist. Thanks for watching this one. Peace.